Okay, I want to start out by telling you that you've already heard that the presentation is taken from the keynote that I was lucky enough to do at the Congress in London. It was fantastic seeing people we haven't seen in person for a long time. So it just getting out and doing that, and we were right in the middle of the program related to the Queen's funeral. So that was another thing that was incredible, and the show was just outstanding. So we won all the way around. Okay, what I wanted to also mention is that the idea of this presentation is to talk about a future perspective, talk about what's going on with sustainability, and make some recommendations based on what we know and the way things are developing as to what may happen in the future in terms of development. Okay, so to say that sustainability is a major trend in our industry is certainly an understatement. It's something that we're all very concerned about and that we're all learning more about as we go along. But from the broadest point of view, sustainability means meeting our needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And that's a great definition and a great goal. And what we got to do is start thinking about how to work our way down to specific activities that are going to help us. Because sustainability is not just environmentalism. There's social, there's equity, there's economic, there's so many other things that build into it that we have to be thinking about as we start our programs. So looking back at designing sustainability, designing molecules and formulations that will give us improved sustainability and really be functional, really have the right to say they are in fact sustainable. So we need to go back and make sure that we define and meet the sustainability requirements. Now that sounds a little bit funny that we're doing something that we need to do better at defining. And if you look at the lower right-hand corner here, some of the times when technical people talk to marketing people, the words lost, confused, perplexed, bewildered, they all fit in somewhere or another. And when we start talking about things that are bigger and have different depths that we can work with them, it gets even more complicated. We have to make sure that the perception of sustainability data that we present is something our consumers will accept. That they'll go back and say, yes, you've shown me that you can produce something as a claim that can be substantiated. And we don't want to hurt aesthetics. We don't want to hurt the consumer perception of our products. And we certainly don't want to negatively impact the cost. Okay, so looking to start out with for sustainability, there's the environmental, the economic, and the community aspect of things to get the sweet spot that really is sustainable. Now, trying to go back and talk about sustainability, I had to sort of think of something I could present that people could relate to that will talk about different ways of approaching it. And what we came up with is using the idea of a car, an automobile, and talking about the fact that the three different categories match very nicely with understanding what we're trying to do in sustainability, both in formulations and raw materials. Okay, so if we start talking about sustainable and natural, we're talking about something that we can look at in the automotive industry. We can go back and say we've got synthetic, the stuff that we've been doing all along, the stuff that's been successful over the years, but which we want to improve. So that's the straight synthetics. We can talk about hybrids, things that are partial. We can go back and say we're going to replace as much of the molecule we can or as much of the formulation we can without compromising how these things perform, and to make a product that is a hybrid. Just like a hybrid car, we have the availability of battery electric power, and we have available of gas power. And then finally, the whole hybrid. However, what we want to come back and say is within each group, just because something falls into a group, it doesn't impact negatively on the quality of the product. In other words, there are very good hot rods out there that are the synthetic in terms of being gas powered, but are still very effective in what they do and have a home for the interim.